The sky outside was a dull gray, heavy with the kind of clouds that seemed to press down on everything below. Emily Carter sat at her kitchen table, her hands wrapped tightly around a mug of chamomile tea. The tea had long gone cold, but she didn't notice. Her eyes were distant, glazed over with a quiet storm of thoughts running in endless loops inside her mind. Anxiety had become her companion, uninvited, persistent, and exhausting. For the last 3 years, it had crept into every corner of her life. It stole her sleep, made her heart race without warning, and filled her days with dread she couldn't name. Despite therapy, books, and countless meditation apps, peace remained elusive. She had always been the type to plan. Back in college, Emily had color-coded planners, labeled folders, and detailed 5-year goals. Now at 34, she couldn't even decide what to make for dinner without spiraling into overwhelm. Every decision felt like a trap, every change like a threat. She'd lie awake worrying about things that never happened, but that didn't stop the racing thoughts. Emily's husband, Josh, tried to be supportive. He was patient and kind, always ready to listen without judgment. But even he was growing tired, she could tell. There were no words for the kind of exhaustion that came from fighting an invisible war within yourself. She felt guilty that her internal battles were starting to affect him too. That morning she had tried again. She rolled out her yoga mat, played a guided breathing video, and tried to lose herself in the narrator's calm voice. But within minutes, her mind drifted back to work emails, bills, her aging parents, the unfinished bathroom remodel, and her fear of failing as a wife. One worry led to another, like dominoes falling in a precise, relentless pattern. She stopped the video halfway through, defeated. Her phone buzzed beside her, and she flinched. It was a text from her friend, Melissa. "Still on for the mindfulness retreat next weekend? You promised." Emily sighed. She had agreed to go weeks ago, hoping maybe a change of scenery and some dedicated time would help. Now just the idea of being away from home made her anxious. But backing out would mean letting Melissa down again, and herself. That weekend, she packed her things reluctantly. Josh hugged her at the door, whispering, "Just try to be kind to yourself, Em. You deserve that much." His words stung in the gentlest way. She nodded and forced a smile. The retreat was nestled deep in the Oregon mountains, surrounded by towering pines and crisp air. The cabins were rustic but charming. There was no Wi-Fi, no cell signal, and limited electricity. Emily's first reaction was panic. But Melissa, ever the optimist, grinned and said, "Exactly what we need to reset, right?" Emily tried to settle in. The first group session was led by a man named David, who had the calm presence of someone who had clearly walked through fire and come out wiser. He didn't preach. He didn't promise miracles. He simply invited everyone to take a breath and notice what they were feeling. Not what they should be feeling, but what was honestly there. First, Emily found it hard. Her thoughts darted from one thing to another like dragonflies on a lake surface. But David's steady voice brought her back. "Anxiety," he said, "is like trying to live in the future. Depression is living in the past. Peace only exists in the present. So if you want peace, you have to bring yourself back. And the simplest way to do that is by saying one phrase. I am here now. Say it with me." Everyone murmured. "I am here now." Sounded too simple, too obvious. But Emily said it anyway. "I am here now." Something about it echoed inside her. They practiced for hours that weekend. Simple breathing, mindful walking, body scans, eating slowly, noticing. But that phrase stuck with her. David reminded them again and again. Every time your mind pulls you into worry or regret, gently say it. I am here now. It's not a spell. It's a return. It brings you back to your body, your breath, this exact moment. That night, Emily lay in her bunk, watching moonlight filter through the pine needles outside the small window. She whispered, "I am here now." Her chest rose and fell. She felt the cool air on her skin, the soft blanket tucked under her chin. And for the first time in weeks, she slept. Back home, she didn't become a monk overnight. The anxiety didn't vanish. But she had found something small and powerful. A thought that could break the chain of spiraling worries. When she noticed her chest tightening before a Zoom meeting, she'd pause, place a hand over her heart and breathe, "I am here now." When she found herself thinking about every worst-case scenario before a family dinner, she'd pause, look around the room and say, "I am here now." It was like catching herself mid-fall and landing gently on solid ground. Her therapist noticed the change. "You seem more centered lately, Emily. Not perfect, but more grounded." "I found something," she said. "One thought. Just one. It helps." She began sharing it with others. When Melissa broke down over a stressful job, Emily texted her, "Breathe. Just say it. I'm here now." When her younger brother panicked before a college exam, she called and said, "Repeat after me." She even wrote it on a sticky note and placed it on her bathroom mirror. But it wasn't until a moment with Josh that she truly realized its power. It was a rainy Thursday night. She had come home late from work, exhausted. The kitchen was a mess, she hadn't thawed anything for dinner, and Josh was watching a game on TV. She snapped at him, something about him not helping enough. He looked stunned and hurt. She immediately regretted it. He didn't yell back. Instead, he stood, walked over, and placed a hand on her shoulder. "Where are you right now, Emily?" She blinked. "What?" "Just, where are you?" "In your head." She looked around. "I'm here, I guess." He smiled. "Then say it." And together they said, "I am here now." The tension dissolved. She laughed through her tears. "How did you know?" "You say it every morning when you pour your tea," he said. "You don't even notice." From that day on, Emily wasn't just using the phrase to survive her anxiety. She was living through it, growing with it. She began journaling again. She spent less time on her phone. She stopped trying to control everything and instead tried to notice everything. The sun rising behind the trees. The rhythm of her breath. The warmth of Josh's hand in hers. Years later, when she had her own daughter, she passed the phrase down like a family heirloom. Little Ava would wake up scared from a nightmare, and Emily would cradle her and say, "It's okay, baby. Just say it with me. I am here now." She wrote it on birthday cards, graduation notes, and even stitched it into a quilt for Ava's dorm room. The world didn't stop being chaotic. Bad days still came. Life still surprised her in ways both painful and beautiful. But she never forgot the truth of that moment in the cabin, when she first realized that her power wasn't in fixing the future or undoing the past. It was in choosing the present. "I am here now." It was more than just a phrase. It was a doorway, compass, a place she could return to again and again, when life tried to pull her away. And somehow, in the stillness of those words, she found the peace she had been chasing all along.